Good morning, Upostars. For the Pongal preparation, you had asked for two clarifications. One is about scaling up a Pongal, and one is doing the poli stuffing. We'll cover both in today's live. For the poli stuffing, we'll use chana dal. This is 100 grams of chana dal which has been soaked and it doubles in weight. I think that is the key. You need to let it absorb enough water so that it doubles in weight. And when you uh, taste it, when you bite it into it, it should not offer any resistance. Okay, it should be easily chewable. So if it doubles in size, that's the amount of soaking which is required. So we are going to take this chana dal and this is 100 grams. Okay, so we'll just add it to a 2-liter magic pot and add as little water as you can get away with. I'm going to add just a few tablespoons of water. Just going to add maybe 3 tablespoons of water. That's it. 1, 2, 3 tablespoons of water for the chana dal. Close this. And cook it on high for 5 to 6 whistles. We want a dry, crumbly consistency, and adding more water would prevent the would make the dal mushy. It will not make it dry, and we are going to mash it with jaggery. So we do not want the dal to get watery. We want the dal to be well cooked, but when mixed with jaggery, we want it to become a solid mass and not a mushy liquid. Let's see how we can do that. Then this, I'll start with the pongal. This is 1 cup of raw rice which has been soaked. And let's see what it has turned to. So it has absorbed water and has become nearly 1.5 cups. No, it's become nearly 2 cups. Raw rice is best for pongal. Okay, so I'm adding 1 cup of rice which has been soaked for a couple of hours, and it has become almost 2 cups. And this is again half a cup of moong dal which has been soaked for a couple of hours, and let's see what it has become. It has again doubled in weight, and it has become over 1 cup. Okay, the key is to cook with as little water as possible and then mash it with extra water. I'll add a bit of ghee to prevent spewing. Some crushed pepper and cumin for the bite. This is around a tablespoon. And just a bit of salt. I'm just adding 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And I'll be adding minimal water to prevent spewing. Water not even enough to cover the dal and rice. Just about. Lesser than no, this just about covers the dal and rice, and let's see how long this takes. So chana dal seems to be nicely cooking. Let's give it a couple of more whistles. Remember, we have just used 3 tablespoons of water. That is the key. Minimal water helps the dal cook very, very fast. It also gives it a nice crumbly texture. So you can see it is trying to build up steam because most of the water has already been absorbed. And this is important because this is the time when ultra fast cooking happens. That's 4 whistles. I'm going to let it sit for another 10-15 seconds more and switch it off. By now I would expect to see all the water has evaporated completely. Okay. And all we need to do is just open it and mash it with jaggery to convert it into a filling. So I'm switching this off. I'm smelling a light charring, which means that all the water has dried up completely. So I'm going to let it sit till the pressure settles down. This is likely to take us a couple of minutes or so. Yeah, when I open, I would expect to see a slightly charred bottom. You can prevent that by stopping it after the 4th or the 5th whistle. I am intentionally letting it go to show you what happens when you let it go for more time. You can also choose to remove it from the stove so that the charring is less. Prachi Datta, missed the start. How much dal was put in? I have added 100 grams of dal. 100 grams which was soaked for around 2 hours, which has become 200 grams. That's half a cup of chana dal. So the goal is to cook dal and rice without spewing, to cook them into a complete mush. Okay. There is still some pressure left. I'm going to let it sit for a few more minutes. So try this once or twice till you get comfortable. This is possibly the easiest and fastest way to cook dals to the texture you require. In the traditional boli preparations, we boil chana dal in lots of water, then we drain the water out, then we mash it with jaggery, and then we dry fry it till we get a crumbly texture. The goal is to avoid all that and to convert all of that into just a one short process. So the key is to cook in superheated steam. What is happening inside is not pressure cooking but pressure baking, because there is no water left, and steam has a much higher heat carrying capacity than water. So the longer it sits in the steam, the better it gets cooked, and there will be no mushiness. Okay, I think it is just about settling. Pongals, dals can happen ultra fast. You can cook a small quantity in something like 5 minutes or so. That's good enough to feed a small family. We are about to get the first whistle for the pongal. I want the chana dal to be as dry as possible, because when you mix in jaggery, it's going to become watery. So I want it to be as dry as possible so that the additional frying step can be completely eliminated. Okay, this is almost done. And if you check the bottom, you will see that there is a bit of charring at the bottom. This can be avoided, but the dal is extremely well cooked. The dal is cooked in something like 3 to 4 minutes. It's extremely well cooked, and all we have to do now, if you are trying this, at home, do not let it go beyond 4 whistles. Beyond 4 whistles with such little water results in charring. Now, let it sit for a while till the dal cools. Okay, because if you mix in jaggery right now, jaggery would start melting and would make the dal watery. We don't want that to happen. So I'm going to transfer it to another container and let it cool. You can see that the dal is very grimy. And you can see there is virtually no spewing for pongal, even though we have added nearly 2 cups of rice and 2 cups of moong dal. So I'm just waiting for the dal to cool down a bit. Mash it up. See how powdery it is? Now we are going to use this for stuffing. So we do not want it to be soggy. The dal has become dal powder. Can you see that? Okay, I'm switching off the pongal too. This is a texture very hard to achieve by traditional cooking. The dal will invariably be mushy, and this crumbly dry texture is possible because we have pressure baked it. In the last few minutes all the water has evaporated and superheated steam has cooked it, which is why the texture is nice and crumbly and not mushy at all. Now we can add in jaggery. You can add in as much or as little jaggery as you like, and the cardamom powder if you want, and mash it all up together. And now you will see that the dal does not become watery, and it can be shaped into tight little balls, which you can use for your ubbutu filling or poli filling or whatever you might call it. You can adjust the jaggery quantity to your liking. And now you can shape it. You can add some flavoring if you like. You can add some cardamom powder if you like. You can add some ginger powder if you like. You can add any flavoring you like. And you'll see that you can shape them into nice tight little balls. See? Now this can be easily used for your stuffing. So we have cut out multiple steps. We have cut out the steps of boiling the dal separately, and shallow frying the dal after jaggery has been mixed in. So that is how the puran poli filling or the ubbutu filling can be opposed, by cooking dal with minimal water. Sindhu Shri Ajay, how to go about for tuar dal? All dals cook exactly the same way. Soak it, ensure that the dal nearly doubles in weight, and then pressure bake it with as little water as possible. Now look at this. This is very, very manageable. See the texture? You can shape it into balls easily. See? And you can use it for anything you like. It's simple, right? Charring is as a possibility. If you let the dal cook too long without water, this might happen. You can avoid this completely by cooking it for a whistle or two less. 4 whistles should be just about enough to cook chana dal or any dal for that matter. The dal will be completely cooked. It will cook incredibly fast after all the water has evaporated. Okay. Now this took us what? Something like 5-6 minutes to do. And this is absolutely foolproof. You can alter the sweetness to your liking, alter the flavoring to your liking, alter the texture to your liking. And all that is needed right now is to stuff this into flatbreads and shallow fry it on a tawa. Okay, it's taken us less than 10 minutes from start. I think the pongal is still cooking. Let's wait for a few more minutes to see how it has turned out. Uh, the pongal would be of a grainy consistency. The rice would be extremely well cooked, the dal would be extremely well cooked, but the grains would look separate. They would still retain their shape. You need to transfer this to a bigger vessel and then mash it with extra water to get it to a pongal consistency. The mashing is for two purposes. One is to get the right consistency, and second is to lock that consistency, because pongal hardens on cooling. Like any porridge, the longer it sits, the harder it becomes. And once you mix in cold water, that will arrest the hardening. So the consistency you have right now will be the consistency, it will stay forever. Okay. So I'm pretty pleased with the results. I expected a bit of water to be left, but no. It's completely dry, and I think this is an important breakthrough. Cooking dals with no water so that they retain their shape but become completely crumbly. And this dal, if you're worried about storing staples in your fridge, you can just let this powder, sun dry this powder and use it as an instant dal powder. Or you can place it in a shallow tray in your refrigerator. This will become powder because the refrigerator is also a dehydrator. So whatever little moisture is left will get completely evaporated in the refrigerator. You can just bottle it and use it wherever dal is called for. Just mix it in with some hot water, put in some tadka, and you have your dal tadka. Just add it as you would add sambar powder. Just add a couple of tablespoons of the powder to as a top layer over your vegetables, and you can prepare sambar or kuttu or whatever you like. You can also do this with a mixture of dals. They all cook in around 4 to 5 whistles, and the dal powder, I guess, would probably emerge as an Oppo staple, because storing cooked dal is still culturally not acceptable for many of us. Dried foodstuffs do not have this cultural taboo. So I think once you dry out the dal and store it as a dal powder, it will be much more culturally acceptable, but you never know. Try this out, see what your elders feel, post your feedbacks, and we'll take a call on whether to make it a staple or not. Okay, now give me a few minutes. Let's see what pongal has become. This experiment is already a success because there is absolutely no spewing. We have almost filled the magic pot with 2 cups of soaked rice and 2 cups of moong dal, and we have managed to cook it without a single drop of spewing. Okay. So let me not make you wait. Let me release the pressure right now. Transfer it to a bigger container. Ideally, let the pressure settle. Do not be in a hurry to release the pressure because the dal and rice are still cooking. I don't want to waste your time, so I'm going to release the pressure. And I've broken the handle of my magic pot. So I would need, and that looks nice and mushy. The top layer seems a bit dry, but let's see what happens when we mash it all up. The dal seems well cooked. The dal is very mushy. The dal is very well cooked. The rice is still a bit hard. Probably I should have let it settle. It seems well cooked, but let's mash it and see what happens. Now you can't do it in this. You need a bigger vessel. I'm going to transfer it to a bigger vessel. As always, you will have a problem of bottom charring if you don't estimate the cooking times right. If you are cooking with minimal water, this is a problem you need to learn to live with. Instead of cooking for 5 or 6 whistles, I guess I should have stopped at the 4th whistle itself. but that is not going to affect your dish too much if you don't scrape the burnt bit and mix it with the cooked stuff. So this does not look anything like a pongal, but it will soon be one. Now what we need to do is just mash the whole thing up. Mash it first and then add water to lock it at the consistency you desire. Now this also illustrates an important principle that rice or dal do not lose their shape and retain their shape when you cook them with minimal water. That's exactly what we do in the Opos biryani. But here we are applying the principle for a different purpose altogether to completely minimize spewing. It's important to mash it when it is still hot because starch firms up dramatically on cooling. Now once you mash it, now this can take double the amount of water. If you just mix in some water, now adding water would lock the consistency. The pongal would still be hot, you don't need to worry about that, but it won't hard up over time. See, it's already started resembling a pongal. And the good thing about this, you can reheat this if you want, because there is no chance of overcooking a pongal. You can reheat it briefly before serving if you like. But don't let your elders catch you doing this. I don't think they are going to be happy at all. This is not the way pongal is traditionally done. That looks good. Add a bit of ghee. You can use a blender briefly if you like. Now there you go. Now this is good enough pongal for around 3 to 4 people. 3 to 4 restaurant sized portions. How does it look? Now this consistency would remain irrespective of how long you store it. Okay? That looks good to me. So now mix in cashews or whatever you like and your Ven Pongal for, let's see how many portions this have. Now this is, I think we have around 3 adult sized portions of the pongal. You can repeat the same thing in a 4.5 liter magic pot and cook enough pongal, non-messy, non-spewy pongal to feed around 6 to 7 adults comfortably. The key again, I repeat, is to cook with minimal water because that's the fastest way to cook rice and dal or just about anything for that matter. Thank you very much. Try this out. We have done the Puran Poli stuffing, the Ubbutu stuffing and the scaling up of the pongal. I'll do another scaled up version with the 4.5 liter magic pot. I'll fill it almost to the brim. Even then, there would be no spewing if you add minimal water. But the risk always is the risk of the bottom charring. So go by whistles, try it once, get comfortable, and then show it off if you want. Thank you very much. I'll catch you later with another live.